Welcome back, and the festive season is upon us, and that means that the demand for gold will pick up. The gold prices in India are also at a discount to the global prices, but there are a couple of concerns. One, of course, is the duty-free gold imports from South Korea, and the other is the Dr. Dore bars from Peru, and that is what has been keeping the Indian gold industry at edge. We're joined by now Mr. Sanjeev Agarwal, who is CEO at Gitanjali Export Corporation. Sanjeev, hi, good to have you. This weekend kickstarts or announces the start of festival season in the Indian markets. But how concerned is the industry? Let me begin by that, on the imports of South Korea, free duty imports to start with, and of course this Peru concern as well coming on the surface now.
Well, the South Korea issue is more of a price dampener. It is building some sort of uncertainty on the domestic gold price, and like you said, it's running at a discount because of this. And it's a peculiar situation where a few years back the country signed an agreement with Korea, wherein in the free trade agreement there's no value addition to be done at source at the free trade agreement country. Normally when you do a free trade agreement, there's a requirement that there's a value addition of about 30-35% at that exporting center, and that means that it cannot be misused. Unfortunately, in this agreement, that clause is not there, because of which it's becoming a little more tougher for the government to figure out an appropriate step to stem this inflow. So unlike what was happening a few months or a year back on inflows from Indonesia and Malaysia at almost zero duty because of FTA, this is a more difficult call, but I'm sure the government is abreast of it and would take some action. After which things will stabilize once again. The Peru concern is not really much of a concern, because it's a concern as far as Dore is concerned, is being imported into the country, and the source of Dore is a question. There is a long-term alternative to this whole process of Dore, which if the government works on it, can streamline the whole process. And that long-term alternative is that we are importing Dore from 4 or 5 major countries in Africa and from South America. If there's an agreement whereby the government of those countries set up collectively, possibly at the gift city, a center, an exchange wherein this Dore comes in and then gets sourced within the country, it will streamline a lot of these processes and issues with regards to the source of that Dore.
So Sanjeev, let's move to the better, conversation now. How do you look at the preparedness of the industry then for the festivities? Do you see this quarter, or as we kickstart this weekend, do you see the demand come back into the markets?
Well, definitely it has been a bullish situation in the market. The manufacturers have been working extra long hours to build up inventory, and this can be seen from the fact that there's this very important trade show in India called the IIJS, which took place early this month, and orders from the retailers was fantastic at that trade show, which implies there's a bullishness in the marketplace, both at the dealer level, at the retailer level, and also at the consumer level. You have to take into account the whole perspective of Indian jewelry buying behavior. There's a certain core amount of jewelry that will be bought whatever. There could be a situation like what happened last year, where there was a postponement or reduction in purchase, and that reduction of last year will get reflected in this year. So there's a certain amount of gold buying which will take place. It might get postponed from one year to the other year, but it does not disappear really.
Sanjeev, is there any number that you're putting at in the sales in this quarter now until Diwali? Because Diwali is also early this time around. So the coming next 3 months, what is the sense on sales right now? And what do you think people are really going to step out and buy? Is it investment? Is it yet again jewelry buying?
Well, you're putting me in a corner as far as numbers are concerned, and it's a bit too early to say that, but my estimate is that looking at the position today, it would be about 15%, 20% thereabouts over last year. I personally think there'll be a greater demand for jewelry. as the income levels are going up, as people have made, some of them have made significant profits on their stock exchange holding, stock market holdings, and I see some of that getting liquidated for purchase of jewelry for the family also as part of diversification. So I see jewelry growth taking place. As far as investment demand is concerned, I see a continuous slowdown in the investment demand of bars and coins, because what was driving that investment demand was high inflation in India. That's no longer there. It's well under control. What was also driving bullion and bars and coin sale was cash, parking of cash transaction, which again with GST and all the other elements of a PAN card, etc., introduced by the government, that is also reduced significantly. And the best is the sovereign gold bond scheme, which is such an excellent product available for an Indian investor in gold. So I see a slowdown in physical bar coins, but significant improvement in jewelry sales.
All right, Sanjeev, we'll let you go at that on a very positive note, that the expectation is that you might see 15 to 20% rise or hike in gold sales as compared to previous year, this festivities. On that very positive note, that's all the time that we have on this edition of Commodity Champions. Thank you for watching.